Da-da. Okay, welcome. And most of you, welcome back. Happy New Year. Really fun I've never had a course where, I know, right? Where I know so many people. What's weird is I would never recognize most of you if you came on campus. So you'll have to tell me, but I know your names. I know your little black squares here. So really fun to have so many of you back. You just couldn't get enough stats, huh? I know. No, so I taught this course last term, and honestly, the data science department they were all like, they need to be stronger in math, make them work hard in math. And then by the end of that term, I said, no, we're not going to do that again. That was terrible. So I am kind of making a new course for you guys. And I'm still, I was really sick. I was so glad that classes were postponed because I was really sick. I wouldn't have been able to teach anyways. I'm better now, but obviously I'm here on campus. So that all worked out, but it means that I'm way behind everything. What else is new, right? I think we just always feel behind, but anyways. So I'm working on the course, and there are some really fun things that I want to do, and basically what my goal is to pretty much do Stat 230 over again, not like you think. It's not just going to be Stat 230 again, but for everything where we only touch the surface, I want to go a little bit deeper. I want to incorporate R. Oh, say it isn't so, Emily. Come on. You know we don't like R. I know, but you will. Okay, so pretty much we're gonna go back over Stat 230 material. So what's nice is we have that foundation, right? So you can refer back to Open Intro, and even I might refer you back to Open Intro at times, right? And so you have that, and we're going to go deeper into each of the topics. Okay, we're going to focus on how do we do stuff in R, which we didn't really do in Stat 230. And so it's going to be I think a really fun course. It is a new course, and I hope that you'll like it. Either way, it's what we're doing. So, but that said, I want you to, if there are things that you feel like, oh, I wouldn't mind if we kind of talked more about this, or there's some core things that I want to talk about. But at the end of the day, my goal is for you guys to be really good at regression, which includes just regular linear regression, but also logistic regression, which covers pretty much everything that you would need to do, everything that we build on later on. And so we didn't talk about logistic regression in Stat 230 yet, so that would be new. But essentially, how do you predict numerical variables, and how do you predict categorical variables? And we're going to work really hard at that. And there's some other things that we're going to work on, obviously, but that's going to be my main goal, is to get you really, really strong in those core stats topics. Okay. So I don't know how, but I forgot to post the Zoom link on Moodle, but I did post it right before class, and you're obviously all here, so no harm, no foul, right? So I'm glad you all made it. I did post a course outline, which we'll kind of go through, but because I'm still working, solidifying material, etc., then it's going to be pretty bland, but you don't have to buy a textbook or anything, so don't worry about that. And our Moodle page is, there's only one word to describe it right now. It's pathetic. Oh well. It'll be better. I just need some time. Okay. Oh, and if you are on campus, I would love it if you stop by. I'm here in my office. My office is C104. So in the C building, which is the old building that's attached to the new building, the health sciences or health HS, I don't know, sciences or services? Sciences, probably. I don't know. So I'm in the C building, C104, and I'll show you guys the door. I sit here and there's the door. So if you come here, you'll see me. It says Emily on the door in case you, so a coworker, Joya, she put a ton of Post-it notes on the door that said welcome back. So I feel so welcome back, and it's so fun to be back. So if you're on campus, I'd love to see you. But I just had a class, an in-person class, but no one showed up. They all went to the online version. So it seems like people still want to be online for a little bit longer. So that's good. Okay. So let's go to here. I said it. It's a pathetic Moodle page right now. All I did was put the weekdays on. Terrible. I know. I'll get to work. I did post my schedule, mostly so that you know where I am, if I'm busy or if I'm not, and if you're trying to book me in, but pretty good schedule, right? It's all condensed, middle of the day. So anyways, one thing I did want to ask, and maybe I can screenshot this. Get save to photos, I guess. What I did last term and what I would like to do again this term is instead of me saying the same thing 2 times over for the labs, what I would prefer is I would prefer to make one recording, one good recording, let's say, and have you watch that recording for the lab section. So if you guys are okay with that, then basically, if you're not okay with that, let me know. Otherwise, I'll assume that you're all okay with that and you don't want to be here for Friday or be online for Friday afternoons anyways. Even if it's online, it's kind of annoying. So these will be recordings to watch on your own time. So if you absolutely hate that idea, let me know. Otherwise, I'll assume that that's okay, because that's what my class last term wanted to do. So I'm assuming that that's the same. But so we'll meet here live, but of course, just like last term, I do record the lecture and I'll post my notes. So these notes that I'm writing here, I post those after class and I post the recording after class. And then you'll be able to watch it on YouTube, which I'll post a link to. Oops. Lecture notes and video will be available for review after class, after each class. Okay. So that's the same that I always do, but so you guys know that, but just in case I wanted to say it. Okay. I put together a course outline. I'm not sure it's that great yet. Add, good. I'm in the wrong folder, I guess, but whatever. Let's just do this. Copy. Here, I'll add that my office is C104. I'll put my contact information at the top of our Moodle page, just like before, but in case you've lost my phone number, my cell is 250-864-8386. And just like last term, if you have a question and you're working through something and you need me to answer you and you don't want to go through the formality of an email, then definitely feel free to text me. And I find that that's just an easier way to answer questions. Now, for that reason, I don't have any scheduled office hours, but really, I'm usually available on short notice. There are times where, you know, I might be in a meeting or something, but anytime kind of by appointment, but you could just text me and say, hey, are you busy right now? Can I ask you a question? Can I meet with you? And usually I'll try to get it out of you by text, but if it's too long to do by text, then we can just hop on into this room. This is the room that I use for everything. So maybe, I don't know, bookmark it, or I don't know what you do, but anyways, this is always going to be the room that we use. So I'm usually just available on short notice. If you happen to be on campus, then you can pop by. I'm pretty much always here now that I'm here in town. So I'm available. Okay. We talked about class times. Of course, you're here, so you know that. And then our lab times, so late on a Friday. How rude. Who did that scheduling? It wasn't me, I promise. We'll just have a recording unless I hear otherwise. Don't worry too much about this stuff. So here, this is kind of subject to change. And I guess I should kind of do all of that just as a heads up, because I'm still kind of solidifying things. Copy. I guess I should put it on here. How do I add a page? Yeah, I swear it feels like it's like my first time doing anything. There. Okay. Paste image. Course materials, I'm going to say TBD, to be determined, but but no books to purchase. If I do end up using a textbook, I'll make sure that it's free so that you don't have to worry about it. Okay, but we're likely just gonna rely on my own brain and we'll get something organized. Okay. Let me. One thing that I am sticking with is the course evaluation because I want to be consistent with last term, but that's about it. Okay, so the lab portion is going to be worth 15% of your grade. There will be assignments. A lot of them will just be online, just like we did last term. So very similar. I want to do 2 tests. So 2 kind of, they're not midterms. Technically, midterm is in the middle of the term, so there can only be 1. But that's just me being picky. So I just want to do 2 tests, kind of check-in points, and then we'll have a final exam. And it'll be during the final exam schedule, which we don't know yet. And it'll be a long time until we do, but we're all online. So of course the tests will be online as well. Okay. The tests are going to be during the scheduled class times. So make sure I'll post the dates and just make sure that you're available to write the test in that time. Okay. We'll do assignments roughly once per week. And just as so for the lab assignments there is going to be a lot of work here, and the lab assignments and the assignments, there's really very little difference. I'm going to try to focus the assignments on kind of the theory portion, and the lab assignments will be the applied portion, but sometimes of course they kind of run into each other, and that's okay, right? So it's going to be kind of hard to differentiate, but I'll do my best to keep them sort of separate. But of course, the theory does have to come in with the applied at some point, right? So hard to avoid. One thing that I want to make sure that you guys are all aware, because if you haven't done sciences before, it might not be obvious, but there are no labs this week. So first week of classes, we won't have covered enough to do a lab, and so no labs this week. We'll start labs next week, and that's typical. And typically there's no labs in the first and the last week of classes, but I think the last week of classes we don't have a Friday, so it's fine. But no labs this week. We'll save that for next week. Good. These are definitely subject to change. Will likely change, so ignore for now. So those learning outcomes, we will have learning outcomes, and they will be similar, but don't worry about the learning outcomes for now, especially because they won't make sense anyways, right? So anyways, good. Okay. The department policies are all the same as last term, and a lot of these don't really apply because we're working online, but I do want to bring up the important dates because that's something that I do want you to keep track of a little bit, mostly for your own benefit. Let's see if I can make a little bit more room here. Well, not much. Right. Classes started yesterday, you know that. The last day to drop without a withdrawal is January 21st, which is not this Friday, but next Friday. Okay, so just keep that in mind. If this course doesn't feel like you want to do it, then that would be the time to drop out by. And then we have no long weekends. That's what's hard about term 2 is there are no long weekends, but we do get reading break where we get a whole week off. Okay, so February 21st to the 25th, there's no classes here, right? And so no classes. That's usually when I go to Mexico, but not this year. I don't think. We'll see. No, probably not. Wishful thinking, right? Anyways, so no classes. It's just nice to have some time off. The last day to withdraw with a W, so is March 11th. It seems like a long ways off. It is a long ways off, but if by March 11th you feel like you're going to fail the course, which I don't think is going to be a thing for anyone, but if at that point you feel like you're going to fail, then you're better off withdrawing because that does not count towards your GPA, whereas a fail counts towards and brings down your GPA. So just be strategic there. And then our last day of classes has been bumped to April 14th. Okay, which means that we have Easter weekend to follow up before we start final exams, and that might be nice. Or you might just want to get started. I don't know. It'll be a busy time either way. Okay. So, Success Center used to be the Learning Center. I don't know, they always change their name. But again, free tutoring. I'll put the link on our Moodle page, and you can meet up with them either online or in person, and depending on what problem you have with this course, they may or may not be able to help you, but of course I'm always happy to help you out. So but I know it can be scary to ask me, I guess, but I encourage you to try, and we'll try to work through it. Okay. Okay, and then all the other policies are, standard. Don't cheat, do your best, be nice to each other. Yeah. Yeah. No cheating? Are you serious? Yeah, I know. So pretty standard stuff here. But yeah, be nice to each other, be nice to me. And that's it. All right. So that's pretty much what I wanted to go through today. I think I'm trying to remember if there was something else that I wanted to do. I don't think so. I think that's it. I'm drawing a blank. I can't remember. And it's fun because we all kind of know each other, or sort of, I guess. So most everyone knows how this is going to go. Do you have any questions for me? I don't see any questions. All good. That's great. All right. Well, I'll stop the recording, but if you do have a question, let me know. Otherwise, I'm happy to have you back, and I think we're gonna have a lot of fun this term. And I'll see you on Thursday. All right. See ya.